Okay, we're recording.
Okay. So a lot of the information that I used, I got from the website and from the consultant toolbox under the Reach for the Stars heading. They had a lot of information and then letters in there. So I took that and I just put it in my own Word document so I could edit it a little bit better. But the first, after I talked to my principal, so first I talked to my principal about doing the program, and we did 50% of the money collected by the students went to the students to buy the books, 50% went to the classroom teacher, and then 10% went to the library. And I ended up using some of that for the library, or if there were teachers that didn't get any participants or they had not as many participants, I tried to give them some money too so that they could, at least everybody could get a book or two for their classroom. So after I talked with my principal, I sent out a letter to the teachers, and this is a letter that I used the first time I did it, just kind of explaining the program and giving them some information about where to find the catalog, because I didn't give every student a catalog. Right. I gave them a link to my website where they could find the catalog, and then I also put one on the issuu.com website. Mm-hmm. So that parents could just click on that website and view the catalog from there. And then what I did was, let me jump back here. On the toolbox, they have letterhead that you can use for Reach for the Stars. So I printed all the paper on the Reach for the Stars letterhead so that it had all of the brand name marking on there, and it wasn't just a Word document coming from me. So I printed that letterhead first, and then I put my information on there. And then I also sent home, before the program started, I sent home an introduction letter to the parents. Let me shrink this a little bit. Explaining the program. So I sent this out a week before I sent home the actual packets, just so that they had a heads up that it was going to be starting. And then a lot of the teachers that I work with use, they have their own website, or they use Blooms, which is kind of like a texting account. And I would give the teachers little blurbs that they could send home on their Blooms account, or if they wanted to add it to their newsletter too, so that they could send out reminders through kind of that social media platform. But then, so this letter would went out, and then again just kind of explained how the program worked, and then gave information where to find the catalog. Then I ordered the envelopes. So this is one of the collection envelopes. And then I ordered the, let me see if I can get that. This is the customer order form. So on the inside, it has the reading journal that the kids record, their reading log. On the opposite side, it has where they put their list of books that they want. And then on the back, there's just a place to record their identifying information, and then their pledges, donations. So instead of handwriting, because I have 485 students at my school, so instead of handwriting all the information on here as far as when the forms were due, and then like who to make the checks out to, I just put that all on a, I'm blanking, just on like a file folder tab that you would print out on the computer. Uh-huh. And I don't have it on this one because they're all at school, but I just stuck that right here at the top. Uh-huh. And then I stuck it on the blank part of the envelope So then all that information was right there. So then it saved me time from having to write that out 500 times, basically. So then the day before I launched the program, so if I was starting the program on a Monday, that Friday, I sent home the collection envelope with the booklet, and then I attached this letter. Oops, let me make that a little smaller. With this letter, and again, this was all from the website, with the step-by-step information. So then each student had their packet to go home with, just kind of, again, explaining it with some of those dates. And then that went home with the students. And then I sent home a reminder halfway through and on the last day. So for the teachers to send home with the students or to put on their social media accounts. And then the money was turned back into me. So the first time I did it, I didn't have 100% participation, but some of the people that did participate, they had a lot of money that they donated to the classroom. So some of my teachers walked away with like $200 or $300 worth of free books for their classroom.
Wow. This
and
letter,
then I also,
Colleen, did you make this up, or was this under the consultant toolbox?
this was under the consultant toolbox. I just I copied and pasted it, and then again I put it on the letterhead that they provided.
Ah, nice.
And so there's different letterhead on there, and then there's also, depending on the format you want to use, there are just like JPEG forms if you want to just use it on a website, or if you want to use it on print. There's different sizes. So I kind of went on there and used that information from here just into a Word document so I could manipulate it and edit the dates and stuff.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Let's see. So then once, do you have any questions so far, or anything that I'm kind of skipping over?
No, sounds good.
So then once the money came back, I went through and entered the order. The first time I did it, it was in November. And so it was close to Christmas and close to the end of the year. And there were some titles that were out of stock. So that made it a little trickier, just with subbing out some titles, because some people didn't put additional books. So I just kind of had to go by what I kind of looked at what books they had put on their wish list and tried to pick something similar.
Okay.
And then I put a little note in there when the books went home, just saying that book was not available and it was subbed out with something else. But it does say that on the sheet to list a few additional books in case that happened.
Right. That was good. So did you have anybody unhappy about that, subbing out books?
No. And luckily the order came in right before Christmas, so I was able to get it out before Christmas break.
Okay.
So that was nice too. And I did put, because we have 3 grade levels, K1 and 2, I did put the order in all as one. Sharon had said sometimes people put it in as smaller orders, so it's easier to sort through.
Right.
I had the luxury of, since it was at my school, I was able to put all the books out on the stage, and then I had a couple of volunteers that helped me sort through and kind of put those orders together for the students.
That's great.
So I didn't do it last year. I took a year off just because our kids do other fundraising programs too through PTO. So we kind of wanted to give it a break and then go at it again, just to So it wasn't something that was done every year. And I mean, if it's more successful this year, maybe it's something I would talk to the PTO about doing, and seeing if they wanted to be a part of it too. But it was pretty successful, I think, for the first time, and the students were excited, and I know the teachers were excited too.
What was your total, Colleen? I forget.
I think it was like 6,200.
Yeah. I thought it was around some.
Yeah, I don't have on my computer. I accidentally deleted all of my files
Oh, no.
at the beginning of last year, and some of that stuff I wasn't able to recover. So I think it was kind of around there.
I was thinking it was just short of 7,000.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good for the first year, because frequently if people do those over and over again at the same school, they'll go up each year because the kids that didn't participate now understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And are more likely to participate. Did you do any kind of kickoff program or anything?
I didn't. We have monthly assemblies, and I talked about it at the assembly just to kind of get them excited about it, but that was really about it. And then the teachers promoted it in their classrooms, so I relied on the teachers to help do that. So,
you probably had really good teacher cooperation because they know you and you're there all the time. Whereas I think a lot of times if we go into a school, the teachers don't quite know what's going on and they don't feel a loyalty to the situation, you know. So I think that's when the assembly or whatever comes in to get the kids excited, so they kind of take the teachers along with them in case the teachers aren't quite there yet.
Right.
Colleen, do you think it made a difference that the teachers knew they were going to get free books out of it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because then I think then I know some teachers probably promoted it more or sent home more reminders, and that might have helped them.
Did you have a makeup wish list or anything? The teachers?
Yeah, so I sent the teachers a wish list. There is a teacher wish list. I used
yeah, I see
that's
that.
on here, and oops, yeah, I have to pull it up real quick. I just sent this out to the teachers, and actually when the money started coming back, I had to send some of these back to the teachers to add more books too, because their totals were so high. So
that's a good problem.
Yeah, I had originally told them like $150 to $200 worth, and some of them I did have to go back and add more.
Wow, that's great. So do you happen to remember, did you offer the school 10% in cash or books?
In books.
In books. Okay. So nobody, with this particular one, nobody took the cash option, or did you not offer it?
No, I didn't offer it.
Okay.
I offer it, just the books.
I think it does make it easier when you don't offer the cash option, but sometimes they're asking for it. You know, they upfront ask for a cash option.
Right. Yeah, that I think the 10% back to the library. Our librarian wasn't. I think she was a little set in her ways and where she would order her books from, so she wasn't as willing to kind of look through the catalog. I gave her multiple opportunities to do so, and in the end, I ended up dividing most of that money between the other classrooms.
So she didn't even want it, huh?
No, I think she was just
too set.
Just retired last year. Yeah. not
willing to do something new. Yeah.
Right. But it did allow me to give, because some teachers maybe only got $50 worth of books, where others got 100 or 200, so it kind of helps me give to some of those classrooms that didn't get as much.
Didn't get as much. Did you, once you finished, did you do any kind of a survey asking them what they thought and what they liked, what they didn't like, anything like that?
No, I did not.
Okay. It would be interesting. Maybe you could survey them before you do it again to see what they liked or didn't like, or
Sure.
if they're more motivated now because they saw the benefit of it all from last year or the year
Right, and
before.
yeah, and there's a couple teachers I have this year that weren't at our school, so that could be interesting too to see their difference since some of those teachers haven't done it before.
Yeah, and it's also a great way to get to talk to people and be enthusiastic and like kind of infuse some enthusiasm into everybody and talk about it, make a big deal out of it, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Colleen, did you offer any incentive for students if they reached a certain pledge level or?
Yeah, if they had $100 in pledges, they got an additional $10 in free books.
Okay.
And I think that was one of when I was reading about it, that was one of the ways that they said that.
Well, we used to offer a free kid kit, but now there are no kid kits to speak of. So
yeah, and I think that's when I was making those forms in the Word documents, they did talk a lot about the kid kits, so I had to edit that out.
Yeah.
Those forms are old.
Right.
Yeah.
But from what I'm understanding, I don't know if it'll be different because with the relaunch and the recertification for the school side, I don't know if any of that will change as well. So
I've not heard anything about Reach for the Stars changing.
But okay.
Yeah. Is that what you meant? Just the program?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think the program will change.
With, as far as some of the materials that they offer.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We're supposed to be updating the toolbox soon to get rid of stuff that's old and update it with stuff that's more current and branded and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those logos have changed a little bit. I noticed that.
Yeah.
So,
Colleen, can you share a little bit about how you kept organized through the whole thing? Because it's a lot of details, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many classrooms did you deal with?
23.
Okay. How did you keep them all organized?
I gave each teacher a large manila envelope with their name on it, and then they were to keep that envelope and return it to me. So if the program ended on a Friday, because it's 2 weeks, the money could start being turned in on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave them like a few days grace period, and then they could start turning in their envelopes, say on that Wednesday. And then I just kind of kept it organized by class.
By class, okay.
I did, then after I did write on the students' order forms. I might have... No, I wrote on them. I wrote on the students' order forms, like if I subbed something out, so I knew that that book would be coming. And then once I ordered it, I would highlight it in yellow because yellow, when you photocopy it, it doesn't show up. And then that way I was able to have my hard copy list. And then I photocopied all of those. So when the order came in, and I was filling it, I could highlight the photocopied form to make sure that they received all their books.
Okay, that's great. That's good. So did they collect the money? Did they collect cash, checks, charges? All three?
I had, I just did cash and check.
Cash and checks. Okay, no charges. Okay. Okay, and they just kept the money in the envelope then?
Yep. So
did you have...
it would be in the envelope that they sent out, that I sent out for their collection. So the student's name would have been on here, and it came back with their pledge sheet and their with the sheet that they record how many minutes they had. Okay. And I had a couple kids that also they read 30 minutes a day, but they didn't have any pledges. So I gave them books. I gave them one book, even if they turned it in but didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Did you have any trouble collecting money from people?
Mm-mm.
It all came in pretty nicely. Okay, that's great. What'd you do with catalogs? Did every teacher get a catalog? Did every classroom get a catalog to pick out their books?
I gave 2 catalogs to each grade level for the teachers to look through. And then I didn't give students any hard copies of the catalog. I had a note on there that if they needed it, I would send it home. No one contacted me. I just used the link to my website and then the link to the issue.com, the ISSUU, I think it might be 3.
Yeah.
So that they could have that direct link to look at the catalog on there.
Okay.
And did you set up any kind of display of books for teachers or students to look at during the time?
In the library. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that was
So they had it kind of in front of them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was pre and during and after.
Yes, it was. Yeah, once I did and introduced it at the assembly, then it was in the library for those 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's great. Is there anything you can think of that you wish you would have done a different way, or you got some ideas after it was over that you want to implement in the next one? Anything like that?
I think now that I'm doing it, there is, like, I know our teachers are more involved in social media. So a lot of my reminders, I've sent out things electronically so that they can post that through their social media accounts.
That's great.
Like I said, a lot of them use Blooms. It's Bloom with a Z, and it's just a text. It's like a texting. The teacher can text the parents information about the class, but they don't have access to all the other parents' phone numbers. And I know a lot of teachers do that, so they can get those reminders. And I think that's probably the biggest difference in 2 years.
Yeah, right. Right. Do you think you'll set up a Facebook event for it? Something like that?
I haven't thought about doing Facebook, but like I don't know. I'd probably have to double check just with our district too to see how that works.
See if that's allowed, right?
Yeah.
I was just thinking of one central place where they could get their information from.
Yeah, we have a district-wide site, and I could always ask my principal because she'll post for all 3 buildings on there. We're a smaller district. We just have 3 buildings, but it's not like our school has one. So I could see that. And I haven't done it with any of the other schools in the district because at the time that I signed up, someone else had already was already signed up for some of the other schools.
Is it still listed?
Yeah.
Darn.
So
yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe with the change, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you'll see after it's all said.
So,
yeah. So you are an EC already, right? So you get to recertify in September. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Colleen, did they make any announcements during the time? Like, do you have daily announcements over PA or anything like that?
At that time, we did not. Now we do.
Because I know a lot of times we do like some kind of even like something about a book or something to get the kids interested and remembering that they want to get free books by getting pledges and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that we do daily announcements now.
Also, I've seen like a big chart in the hallway somewhere, like with a thermometer or something like that, and keep it updated as to what's been collected and different things. If you set goals for the school, different things like that. So, do you remember how much you made off of that one? What was your profit? What was your commission?
It was, I think, maybe like, trying to do some math real quick. Maybe 2,300.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
23, what?
2,300.
2,300. Okay. And you ran it for 2 weeks. And that was your first one you're talking about, right?
Yep.
So that was probably time intensive just to think it through. Right.
Yeah, just like, I think once you get the paperwork part, like it's getting the brochures and the envelopes labeled. It takes time. And then I put the labels on, and then that last sheet that I had, this one where I had step 1, 2, and 3, I stapled that together with the envelope and the collection sheet, so that all went home, and just counting it out. But that took a little bit of time. And then it's entering the orders.
Yes.
It just takes a little time.
That takes a little time, yeah. Order entry is.
Especially, I think, hopefully I won't run into that problem, but I think being close to the end of the year with some of those titles running out, that's
nerve-wracking. Yes. Especially last year.
Right. She did do it last year.
Oh, yeah.
I had it.
Oh, good you didn't do it last year.
No, not last year.
That would have been awful.
Right. And just making sure, because I would enter some, just trying to balance too, like my personal life with work. And I had my son was probably just around a year at that time. So by the time I was able to enter the orders in, I wasn't able to sit down and do it all at once. Right. So I might have started and done half the order, and then I would go back. Some books might have been out of stock again. Yeah. So
it's true. Doing things in pieces makes for more mistakes because you forget what you've done and where you are and
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think this time I will just have to set aside time to just get it all entered. And have that just kind of be done with, but
just get it done. Right. So, well, you were definitely successful at this. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for Colleen that's listening?
I wondered if you offered any incentives to a classroom for the number of participants.
You know what? I don't think I did. I'm trying to see if I put that on a sheet. Let me see. Like if the class that had the most, they got an extra.
Well, sometimes they do, a pizza party or ice cream or something like that.
Yeah. I don't remember if we did. Yeah. And now with the laws and what you can offer with food.
Oh, really?
Like what you can give the kids as rewards. We don't use food as much, but I don't think I probably didn't, because I would have had it stated in the letter. Then I'm looking real quick and I don't see it in there. But I know they do that with other programs, like with box tops, and I know that some of the teachers do that. So.
Yeah, I know one school I did, they had, I think there was a clown or something, or there was some kind of performer. I forget what it was now, but only the top 2 classes got to go to this special deal with this fun guy that came in to do stuff with the kids. It was a long time ago. I can't remember if it was a clown, it seems like, but it was some kind of performance that they got to go to. So, and then a gal that used to do a lot of these in a kind of small town, the principal of the school would do things like if they met their biggest goal, one time the school dyed her hair green or kissed a
Yeah.
pig or
That's
did
something.
crazy stuff like that, you know. But that was a school-wide goal that
Right.
they were reaching. And then you get your picture in the paper when it all happens because, you know, it's such an odd thing.
Yeah. Right. That would our principal would probably be up to doing something a little wacky, but
Look, yeah.
to think about for next time.
Or
Yeah,
even
I
if they
heard
gave
this
if they
one-
gave the classes like, you know, a wear anything day or some
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of crazy thing like that reached their goals. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it wouldn't have to be food.
Yeah.
Right.
This one school, that if they reach their goal, they would be able to tape the principal to the wall with duct
Oh
tape.
yeah, that's right.
And I actually saw the guy stuck up on the wall. It was amazing, actually.
That's funny.
So, okay. Well, great. Very good. Good job, Colleen. Yeah, thank you for
you.
sharing with us. It's great.
No problem.
Anybody else have questions?
No, Colleen, I'm just so impressed that you work full time, you have a child, and you can do this.
She
I
has two now.
applaud.
She has two now.
You, okay.
She's
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. Super.
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't get a lot done until about 7:30 at night.
Right.
Oh, well, I appreciate you taking time to share all this with us, and we did record it, so we knew that attendance might be a little light tonight because it's been a long, fun day.
Right.
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 A long, fun day. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.